You're not too angry to grieve. You're not too angry to do this grief thing. You're not too angry. You are grieving. And when the anger shows up, it's going to show up as every emotional possible. And anger is one of those emotions. We don't talk enough about anger. We don't talk enough about rage. We don't talk about how this fits into our life. We don't talk enough about rage that lives inside of the grief. There is rage and anger that can, for some, live inside of the grief. Grief is not just sadness, not just longing. What happens when the grief also turns to anger? Then what do we do? What do we do with that pain? Rage, righteousness, they are all real. The emotion that you've been told not to feel during grief is absolutely emotion that you should be feeling. Hey, beautiful souls, I'm so glad you're here. My name is Sharon Brubaker, and I want to welcome each and every one of you in. I want to welcome you in, and I want to tell you, breathe. Breathe. Just come on in, sit with me, and just breathe. If you're new here, I am the owner of the Grief School, the private university where healing begins. And today I'm going to talk about something you've probably never even given permission to feel. And that's the rage that goes inside of the grief. It lays just under the grief. We don't often talk about it, or if it shows up, we get told to push it away. The rage is not just sadness, it's despair. It can even be the depression that goes along with the grief, right? So, grief is not just all filled with sadness, longing, missing them, and being broken. Grief is also anger. And sometimes that anger can turn into a rage deep down in your bones, feeling as if your heart was ripped out, feeling the gut punch over and over and over again. Anger that simmers can turn into rage. Any anger left to simmer can turn into rage, especially if it's not taken care of. We are taught so often to be graceful. Oh, they died. You're a woman. You need to be graceful. Women, if we allow this rage to come out, how does that look to other people? How's it going to look to them? We're taught to cry quietly. We should quietly cry. We're taught to perform our strength. You're strong. You can do this. To fold our pain politely and quietly, to fold the sorrow politely and quietly and just put it away. But what happens when that anger is not allowed to be expressed? I heard a grief specialist say yesterday that everyone has anger in their grief, and I don't believe that is true. I do not believe that is true. I have had 4 major grieving experiences, and not one of them included anger for me. Not one of them included anger for me. So, not everyone is going to have anger. Some of us are going to have love. Some of us are going to have longing. Most of us have longing for the person. Some of us are going to will be at ease because our brain has told us at least they're no longer in pain. And because our brain has told us they're no longer in pain, we intellectualize the loss. Oh, he lived a good life. At least he's no longer in pain. So we go into some of those things before the anger or rage even has a chance to show up. When we start to performing how strong we are, and we fold that pain up and we don't show it to anyone, the anger will start to fester. And once the anger starts to fester, underneath it can be the rage. And if you've been grieving for a while, maybe you've been grieving for weeks, maybe you've been grieving for years, and nothing feels like it's going to make this anger move. This might be the door you have never walked through yet. And so I want to invite you to come and sit with me and let's talk about it. I have a question for you. Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry and how come you don't know? You don't have to post it here. I'm just asking. Grief isn't one feeling, it is conflicting truths that sometimes run against each other. Grief can be this conflicting truths. I can love him beyond belief. I can love him beyond belief. And I can also still be very mad that he left me. They both can coexist on the same grieving experience. You've lost someone. You miss them. You blame them. You're blaming yourself. You blame God. You blame the hospitals. You blame the doctors. You're blaming the nurses. You're blaming the medication that didn't work. You're blaming the timing. You blame yourself. Anger is a natural part of grief. Anger is a natural part of grief, and it can go with all of those I just listed. It is not uncommon for me to sit with a griever who has lost a loved one and her to be so mad at the hospital, the doctors, the nurses, the diagnosis, the medication. We've got to work through that. And that anger, when left untouched and left unsaid, can turn into rage, and it can attach to other areas in our grief. But here's the catch, friends. For most of us, we're not allowed to express this anywhere. If we even start expressing it or talking about it, we get corrected out of it. If you cry, people will console you. If you talk about missing them, people will nod. But if you say, I'm mad that they left me, silence, complete silence. If you scream, I hate that they died this way, you start making other people feel uncomfortable. We have conditioned humankind to edit your grief so that everyone else feels uncomfortable around you while you are grieving. And because we know that we cannot scream, I hate it that he died this way, and we can't punch the wall and we can't yell and scream, we pull back because we're not allowed to show our real truth. We're not allowed to show the real truth of what we're feeling on the inside. So for many of us, we're told to suppress the rage. We suppress it so long it starts to become depression. Repressed anger turns into shame. Ignored rage turns into self-abandonment. We start to abandon the parts of ourselves that we know to be true. You are not broken. You are angry. You're furious. You're furious about what has just happened to you. And you are allowed to be that way. You're allowed to be that way. This Sunday, I want to take this subject a little bit deeper. And so I'm doing something called Grieve That Shit. It is a lecture series that I've put together. And this is exactly what we're doing in the Grieve That Shit Sunday lecture series. This week's theme is let's talk about the rage you're not supposed to feel. Let's talk about the rage you're not supposed to feel. Let's talk about the rage that no one is asking you about. Let's talk about the rage that lays just under the grief. Sunday's lecture, I want to help you go deeper with the rage and anger. If that is showing up for you, grief, maybe it isn't showing up for you and you're not sure that you really are angry. I want to unpack the roots of unspoken anger and how quickly it can be wrecking your healing. Excuse me. If you've been showing up strong, composed, and secretly ready to explode at any moment, this is your call to come. If you're ready to explode at everything that's happening to you, a flat tire, the way the teacher responded to you, the fact that your kid didn't get his homework done, If you're blowing out the handle all the time, this is the lecture for you. We're going to take a deeper dive into how the rage started, why it started, and where it came from. Let's start with this. Who gave you the idea that anger was wrong in your grief? What if anger is right? What if anger is okay? What if it's absolutely okay to be angry in your grief? Okay, let's do a rewind. Where did you learn that rage makes you a bad daughter? Where did you learn that yelling, cussing, and screaming makes you a bad sister, wife, or mother? Where did you learn that saying how mad you are that he left you makes you a bad partner or a bad human? Probably it's why your grief may have started this way in the first place, where you were taught. Think about this. This is where it started. You were taught to be kind. You were taught to be soft. Don't speak ill will of the dead. Don't be too much. Don't yell and scream. It's not proper for a woman to react that way. Don't make people uncomfortable. And it may have not sounded just like this. God will never give you more than you can handle. It may have sounded like that. So we internalize it. We start to internalize this. If I'm angry, I'm out of control. And if I'm out of control, I'm raging. And if I'm raging, I'm not being spiritual. And if I'm not being spiritual, I'm really furious. And if I'm furious and raging and out of control and not spiritual, then I'm failing at healing. Who told you that? Where did you learn that? Where did you learn that rage is holy? Where did you learn that rage is sacred? Where did you learn that rage is grief's bodyguard? What if your rage is actually saying to you that this is not okay? What has happened to you is not okay. What if your rage is actually saying to you what has happened to you really mattered? What if your rage says, I deserve more time? What if your rage says, it's okay, be mad, you have the right to be that way? They were taken way too soon. This happened way too fast. It was way too violent and too suddenly. What if that's what you need to say inside the grief? What if that's the conversation you need to have? What if you need to feel heard in that conversation? Let it out, friend. Let the words come out of you. Breathe. Be in the moment. Hear the sounds. He was taken way too early. I want to talk about what happens when we don't feel the rage. Let's be clear and let's be real. You can look like you're healing on the outside and carrying it so perfectly. People look at you and they're like, wow, she is really doing well. I'm so proud of her. Look at her. Wow, she lost her husband. She's really doing, look, right? On the outside, we can look like we're doing great. But if you keep skipping and bypassing the anger, I promise you, you will get stuck in the numbness. You will not know how to move on. The brain fog is real and it will stay there. Your body will stay in hyper alert. You'll keep looping over and over and over in the past and in multiple, couldn't get that word out, multiple memories. You'll get resentful. Resentment can start to grow. You'll be resentful at them. You could be resentful at yourself, towards yourself, resentful at other people in the family, resentful at God, resentful at everyone. You'll be resentful because they're not grieving the way you think they should be grieving. They're not doing the thing you think they should be doing. And they're pretending that they're fine. They're pretending that they're okay. They're pretending that this grief, you look at them and you're like, how can they be like this? I haven't even seen them cry. Rage is not the enemy. Rage is not the enemy, my friend. It's your inner protector saying, I won't let this go unspoken. I won't let this happen. But you need a safe place to feel. You need a safe place to feel this grief. You need a safe place to feel this pain without judgment, without shame, without fear of being too much. I promise you, there are a lot of people out here who are hiding the grief in because they don't know what to do with it. They don't know where to put it. They're not sure what to do with the grief. And so they are absolutely just holding on to it. I was in a group just the other day, and someone said to me, we were talking about anger and rage, and she shared that she absolutely was in a group and she shared her anger, and it made everyone in the group feel uncomfortable. It happens all the time. When we share the truth about our grief, it can make others uncomfortable. And when we make them uncomfortable, are we willing, ready, willing, and able to really go after the healing? No, we can't. We can't really go after it because there's no one around, or we feel like there's no one around who will listen to it. Rage is not the enemy, it's your inner protector saying, I won't let go of this unspoken pain. You need a safe space to feel it without judgment, without shame. You need a safe place to put the grief without fear of it being too much. Friends, this weekend I'm doing the lecture, the Grieve That Shit lecture on Sunday at 7 p.m. I'd be honored to have you, right? But in September, I'm doing a grief intensive weekend along with my sister Erica. And this is a healing immersion. And if what I'm saying is landing deep into your bones and you know you've been holding back, consider coming to the Grief, the Forever Changed weekend. It's not a workshop. It's not an emotional unburial. We do the messy work, the sacred work. I want to give you a place to put the rage, a rightful place at the table. We make room for the fire, not just the tears. You'll get to come undone. We come together. We will remember your person. We take a look at the pain. We stop pretending and we go after the much needed work that needs to be done. Click the link in the bio and click on the link that says, let's do it. There are different kinds of rage and grief. You're not just mad at someone who died. Rage and grief has layers. Here's what they can look like. You can be angry at God. How could he have let this happen? I'm a good person. I remember thinking that. I'm a good person. I tithe. I go to church. How could he have let this happen? You can be angry at your person. Why didn't you take better care of yourself? The doctors told you if you stopped A, then you could have more time. Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you stop drinking? Why didn't you stop smoking? Why didn't you go see the doctor about that? You can be angry at your family. Why didn't you do more? I was always left to do this by myself. Why didn't you show up? You could be angry at yourself. Why didn't I see the signs? Why didn't I open the door? Why didn't I go in there? Why didn't I answer the phone? You can be angry at time. We were supposed to have more time together. We were supposed to be here. And you can be angry at the world. Everyone else gets to be happy. Why don't I get to be happy? Why don't I get to be happy any longer? And here's the secret, my friends. You're allowed to feel absolutely all of these 100%. You are allowed to feel them without fixing them, without resolving them, and without a damn apology. You are allowed to be a storm. You're allowed to be a mess. You're allowed to be a shriveled up mess. That's what anger and grief is. And that's what it does. Okay. I want to remind you guys this Sunday, I'm doing Grieve That Shit. It's a lecture, doing it 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. If what I'm talking about is stirring up anything inside of you, then I think you should come. Do not wait until the rage explodes out of you sideways. Join me this Sunday where we're going to get down deep into the rage. We're going to dismantle the idea that you have to be grief pretty, that you have to do it beautifully in order for people to show up for you. Sunday is going to be about real healing. No filters, no performing. Let's talk about the rage that you are not supposed to be feeling based on other people's comments. The rage that you have taught yourself not to feel. The anger that you say you're not going to feel. What's the one thing that can set you free? I believe it's Sunday. It's coming to the live. It's going to be raw. It's going to be real. Click the link in the bio. It's a community outreach, and I'll be honored to be with you. I want to talk about also how the rage moves through your body. Rage isn't just an emotion. It's an energy. You cannot think your way out of this. It is not intellectual. You have to go down and look at it in order to move it. Here are 5 ways you can do that. You can scream into your pillow. You can scream into your towel. You can punch your pillow. Yes, really punch the pillow. You can do a brain dump on the anger. Dump what is there. Talk about in the dump the person who's died and why it's burning inside of you. You can stomp. You can dance. You can run. You can shake. You can say the things you've never said out loud. I'm so effing mad at you for leaving me. I needed you to be a fighter. I needed you to fight harder. I hate grief. I hate how I'm alone now. Friends, you've got to say those things. They have to come out. You have to be able to relieve the pressure. Say it. Say it loud and say it messily. Let the tears run down your face. Let the fire that's inside of you burning release. Let the snot run down your nose. I promise you won't stay there forever. You cannot skip this part. You cannot skip this part of grieving. Your anger is not the problem. It's the path. And for you, you're going to go through the anger. Everybody doesn't take this path. It was not a path for me. And that's okay. The fact that you're sitting next to me and you are a griever and anger is your path makes you human because it's not on my path. It simply makes you human. And here's what I want to leave you with today. Your rage is not wrong. You are not broken. This anger is not sacred. It is necessary. And it is life-giving. You are grieving, and your grief is loud. So let's come and be loud together this Sunday. In the lecture, come to the weekend. Come feel your fire again. Come and see it. You want to go deeper this Sunday? You want to hang out in a room where people will cry, yell, shake, scream without shame? Where grief doesn't have to be elegant to be valid? That's this weekend, this Sunday, in the Grieve Your Shit, the community outreach. I'd be honored to see you in there. I'd be honored to have each and every one of you in there. All right. I love you, friends. Thank you for joining me today. I will see you on Sunday. Today is Wednesday. I'm traveling tomorrow. I'm going back to Texas. And so I'll see you guys again on Saturday morning. I'm actually probably going to reteach this lesson again on Saturday morning because I think it's great. I love you all. I will see you on Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Talk to you soon. Bye, friends.